Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about a supplement that you're probably seeing everywhere. It's called Astaxanthin, and it's got this incredible vibrant color. It's also got some pretty big claims attached to it, so I thought, let's really dig in and see what the science actually says. But first, let me ask you a quick question. You know when you see salmon or shrimp or even those amazing flamingos, that beautiful pinkish red color they have? Well, have you ever wondered where that comes from? It's not just a coincidence. There's actually a really powerful molecule behind it all. And yep, that's right. The answer is astaxanthin. It's this natural pigment that creates some of the most striking colors we see in the wild. But believe me, its story is way more interesting than just how it looks. Okay, so what exactly are we talking about here? Well, astaxanthin is a type of carotenoid. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's in the same family as beta carotene. You know, the stuff that makes carrots orange. It all starts with tiny microalgae, and from there, it just moves up the food chain. But its real claim to fame? It's a seriously powerful antioxidant, which basically means it's like a bodyguard for your cells, protecting them from damage. All right, that brings us to the main event, the big question on everyone's mind. Can astaxanthin actually do anything for our cholesterol? That's the claim we're really here to investigate. Can this antioxidant help us manage our lipid levels? Now, you might hear doctors use the term dyslipidemia. It sounds complicated, but all it really means is that the fats in your blood are out of balance. You know, you've got too much of the bad stuff, that's LDL and triglycerides, and maybe not enough of the good stuff, which is your HDL. Okay, to make this super simple, let's think of it like this. Your good HDL cholesterol, those are the garbage trucks of your bloodstream. Their job is to go around, collect all the extra cholesterol, and get it out of there. But your bad LDL cholesterol, well, those are more like delivery trucks. You need them for sure, but when you have way too many on the road, you get traffic jams, major blockages in your arteries. See the difference? So the question is, can astaxanthin help manage this whole truck situation? To find out, we're not just going to look at one study. Nope. We're going straight to the top shelf, a huge meta-analysis that basically combined the results from a whole bunch of different high-quality studies all into one. And here it is, the main takeaway, right from the paper itself. And honestly, it's kind of a good news, bad news situation. The good news is they found that astaxanthin did have a positive effect on our good HDL cholesterol and also on triglycerides. The bad news, though, and this is a pretty big deal, is that it didn't seem to significantly move the needle on the bad LDL cholesterol or total cholesterol. So let's break that down, starting with the good stuff. When they pulled all the data, it was clear that taking astaxanthin led to a real, measurable increase in those HDL garbage trucks we were talking about. Super helpful. And it also led to a significant decrease in triglycerides, which is another one of those fats you really don't want too much of floating around. But here's the reality check. When it came to the numbers that a lot of people are really focused on, you know, the LDL, delivery trucks, and that big total cholesterol number, the review found, well, nothing. No significant change. According to all this data, astaxanthin just didn't have a real impact on those two key things. Okay, but hold on, because the plot thickens. There is another really, really important factor we have to talk about, and it's that not all astaxanthin is the same. There's a world of difference between natural and synthetic. So that leads to a pretty critical question, right? Does the source actually matter? I mean, is the stuff cooked up in a lab just as good as what we get from nature? Well, the answer seems to be a huge, resounding yes. It matters. A lot. Get this. Some research suggests that natural astaxanthin can have up to, and this is wild, 90 times more antioxidant power than the synthetic version. I mean, that's not just a small difference, that is a massive gap in potency. Let's just lay it all out. On one hand, you have natural astaxanthin, which comes from microalgae. It's way more powerful, and its safety for us humans is pretty well established. On the other hand, you have the synthetic stuff. It's much, much weaker. And guess what its primary use is? Animal feed. Yeah, that's what they often use to give farmed salmon that pinkish color. Kind of makes you think, right? Okay, so let's stick with the natural form then. The next logical question is it safe? Let's take a look at the potential side effects and, more importantly, any drug interactions you need to know about. For the most part, yeah, it seems to be pretty safe. Most sources say the common side effects are quite mild. You might have more frequent bowel movements, and this probably won't come as a shock, but it can turn your stool a reddish color. If you take a really high dose, you might get some stomach pain, but that's about it. Okay, listen up because this is the most important safety point. Astaxanthin can interact with how your liver processes certain drugs. That means it could mess with your medication, maybe make it less effective. So the takeaway here is non-negotiable. If you take any kind of prescription medication, you absolutely have to talk to your doctor before you even think about starting this. All right, so we've looked at the big scientific review, we've talked about the huge difference between natural and synthetic, and we've covered safety. So, what's the final verdict? What should we take away from all this? Well, it seems pretty clear that astaxanthin is not a magic bullet for cholesterol. The science just doesn't support it as a heavy hitter for lowering that bad LDL. But what the research does show is that it has some very specific talents. It seems to be pretty good at boosting the good HDL and lowering triglycerides. So think of it less as a cure-all and more as a specialized tool. And really, that leaves us with the big question. Is astaxanthin this highly targeted tool, perfect for tweaking just a couple of specific parts of our metabolic health? Or is it a supplement that's still kind of waiting in the wings for more research to really prove what it can do? For now, it seems the science is still being written. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.